are going to have a big jobs report coming out, the August jobs report, in a little over, who knows what time it is anymore. It's 1,000,000 o'clock on CNN News Central. It will be coming out shortly, and we will bring it to everyone. When it does, are you going to believe the numbers?
I'm gonna look at the numbers. Look, the people who put these numbers together are human and they're fallible and they make mistakes. And if you go back and you look how these numbers always get put out and then they always get changed later.
It wasn't that they make mistakes. The reason that the president kicked out the commissioner of Bureau of Labor Statistics was he said that they were faking it. They were cooking the books, which there's no evidence of that. So do you think?
When the numbers are always wrong in one direction, you have reason to be suspect, and so
there's no
I
evidence
understand
of
that. What I can tell you is
it's when more the businesses respond and give the information and submit and respond to the ask from the Labor Department, then they can adjust what they have. It's like I get more information, we can adjust the numbers. That's been happening from the beginning of time. Yes, there has been more variable. That's for a lot of reasons, which they say fewer businesses are actually responding to these surveys, but that doesn't mean they're cooking the books.
Well, I think that when there's problems with methodology, sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it's not. But when the numbers are always wrong in one direction, there's reason to have. I think the methodologies were problematic, and we see this in all kinds of things where numbers always tend to benefit the left, and when the facts come out, they don't anymore. And so I think the president did the right thing there, and we'll see what these numbers are like today. What I will tell you is I did 81 visits in my district over the August recess, met with manufacturers of all types, and they're very optimistic about the Trump economy. It was extraordinary. I met with boat builders and fishermen and all kinds of different companies, and they're very optimistic about where we are right now.
It was declared that this is the Trump economy officially, though it took a moment. He still said it was the Biden economy for a bit. So we'll see what the Trump economy is starting to look like now.
22,000 jobs added in the month of August. That was much less than the expectation of 75,000, guys. The July number was revised. I will get to revisions in a moment. Unemployment rate coming in as expected, 4.3%. So that would be higher than July's 4.2%. Again, 22,000 jobs added in August. Let me get you the revisions because this is what everybody is focused on. For June and July together, combined 21,000 jobs lower than previously reported. I'll categorize that now. So you see for June, it was revised down by 27,000, getting you to negative 13,000, and the change for July up by 6,000, getting you to 79,000.
So you just got it so bad when even Fox News is struggling to keep up with Trump admin's BS. I mean, there's really no way that you can keep up with it because it's nothing but lies upon lies upon lies.
There are two main indicators for why I think Steve Kornacki is wrong about what's going to happen in the midterms. The first is that J.D. Vance is saying himself that the Republicans are going to lose, telling Laura Trump on Saturday. The bad news is one of the pollsters once told me that anger usually wins midterm elections. And because we've done so much of what we said we were going to do, people are angry. So thank you, JD. The second one is that the big, beautiful bill has an approval rating of minus 22. And the Republicans had to have an emergency meeting last week with Tony Fabrizio, their pollster, to work on a rebrand. So they want to call it now the Working Families Tax Credit Bill or something like that. But people know what it is. It's a tax break for the rich, and they're going to take away your health care.
You mean like the Inflation Reduction Act?
It doesn't matter. This is the thing. See, you won in 2024. Act like it. You have a new election coming. You have to defend yourself each time. We lost in 2024. That's why I say we've been admitting it. Biden was too old. He shouldn't have been the candidate. People chose Donald Trump over Kamala Harris. We're working on identity politics. We're working on good economic policy. The voters are saying that they are not into this. He is underwater in every single major category. -2 on crime, -6 on border security, -14 deportation.
What do you love it?
Democrats
are worse,
inflation.
Jessica. That's the point of the segment.
You're quoting big companies, but the big company index, the S&P, is at a new high.
Hasbro says they're going to have to increase their prices. Goldman Sachs says 86% of the tariff revenue collected so far has been paid by American businesses and consumers. So just bottom line, Mr. Secretary, do you acknowledge that these tariffs are a tax on American consumers?
No, I don't.
even though you have companies saying they are going to have to increase prices, and given the fact that 86% of these tariffs so far have been paid by Americans.
You're quoting Goldman Sachs. So
yes, Goldman Sachs, correct.
I made
Which I said, yeah.
I made a good career trading against Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
We talk a lot about volatility and uncertainty in the marketplace, and the president has stated all along that he's more concerned about mainstream America, the American worker. You just talked about deregulation and this entire fair trade and reciprocals. What is your message to the American people in terms of letting them get through this disturbance and the outcome being greater and a greater good for the American worker, the American people, the American families?
I would say trust in President Trump. There's a reason he was reelected to this office. It's because of the historic success of his economic formula in the first term. And as I laid out at the beginning of the briefing, and the secretary has talked about, and the president talks about every day, there's a proven formula that works. Massive deregulation, energy independence, and tax cuts, which are coming. And the secretary is working very hard on that.
Trump's economy sucks. Last month, the jobs report was so bad that Donald Trump felt compelled to fire the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics to distract from how bad the report was. This month, the report was equally horrible because it turns out when you fire the head of BLS, that doesn't actually change the rules of math.
Our big year won't be really next year. I think it'll be the year after, because when these plants start opening up, it takes a period of time to build them. We're going to have tremendous job growth. It's unprecedented. We have unprecedented in history. There's never been anything like it, because we're going to have more than $17 trillion invested. There's never been anything like that. If we did $1 trillion in 1 year, and this is 6 months, 7 months, because we really focused on it over the last 6 months.
You know, one of the biggest reasons that people voted for Donald Trump in the first place is because they believed that he would improve their economic opportunities and the economy in general. They thought that he would bring prices down. That's what he said he was going to do. They thought he was going to increase domestic manufacturing. They thought he was going to increase the jobs numbers. But we're seeing the complete opposite of that happen as he puts tariffs onto absolutely everything, with vegetable prices wholesale up 38%, the prices of eggs, coffee being up over 10% across the board. In some states, beef, the price of ground beef is up over 15%. These are things that people buy more than anything else. Your rent and your mortgage are your biggest expenses, but outside of that, of just extracurricular bills that you're paying, people got to eat every day. These are the types of things that people can't ignore. You can't just come out and say, oh, we have the best job numbers in history, when people can't get hired, when people are losing their jobs, right? So Donald Trump is now deeply caught up in this Epstein mess. You know, his love letter that he wrote to Epstein, you know, enigmas never age. They never age. And he can't escape because he's not making people's lives better whatsoever. Completely backtracking on all of his promises, sending troops into the cities, you know, kidnapping immigrants up out of Targets and Walmarts and agricultural fields. The workforce is down 6.5%. That also increases the prices of farm goods. So across the board, Donald Trump is just destroying the economy, and people are sick of it.